good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, your brother Ashe SJ. Will be joining us shortly, along with our brother Blacksmith, and our sister Marcia, our weekly correspondents, to join us on the check-in. I see my brother Tad just about ready. We give him a couple of minutes, and then we got our brother Blacksmith. I see him trying to get located and situated in the background. So we're going to get started. First, before we do, I want to welcome you all again to this episode of Thorough Black Talk Worldview, where we discuss news, history, and politics on a weekly basis. Come and join the family circle. Tell somebody to tell somebody, where you meet at every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, if you can, give us a like, give us a like, give us a like. And if you like it, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Saturday coming up, September 23rd, we got the one and only Ashra and Mirira Quasi coming into 958 Halsey Street near Broadway. 958 Halsey Street, that is in Brooklyn, 2 to 8 p.m. Information right there on the screen. If you want more details, you can reach out to us at Thorough Black Talk Worldview in the DM, and we will shoot you all the details. I hope to see a lot of people on this Saturday. I know people I haven't seen in such a long time. So it's going to be interesting. And we're going to get a supreme education on Saturday. So we hope you all join us at 958 Halsey Street. Shout out to Plant Based Kitchen. I hope the juices is on deck, because I'm gonna get me some. I'm drinking my water. Y'all see, I got my yellow watermelon tonight, so I'm drinking that tonight. I didn't have no dinner, so this is my dinner every night. Just about is watermelon. But we're gonna get started. We're gonna get started, family. We got so much to discuss. So much going on in the news. Shenanigans. I can't wait to get my brother Tad in here, because these internet streets is hot. I mean, these internet streets is crazy. What the hell is going on with Remy Ma and Papoose? You got to deal with it, family. You got to deal with it. We're going to see, what is the state of black love today? I mean, how are we looking at it? Are we looking at things wrong? I don't know. But I'm getting my family in here, and we're going to deal with it. My brother Tad. How you doing, brother Tad? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Blessed and highly favored. Peace to the family. Peace to everybody tuned in. Life is good, sis. Life is good unless the judge give it to you.
You know, no judges over here.
Nah, we gonna stay away from them folks as
No,
long as possible.
exactly. You see, I'm innocent. All I do is drink watermelon juice.
And mama,
That's
that's right.
it. That's it, brother Tad. Brother Tad, a lot has been going on in these internet streets about what's going on with Remy Ma and Papoose. Um the the stamp of the symbol of black love and entertainment, or one of the symbols of black love and entertainment. I have my own personal thoughts about this. I think it's shenanigans, but that's neither here nor there. But we'll get into it tonight. I want my brother Tad to give his thoughts on what he has heard in these internet streets regarding Remy Ma and Papoose, hip hop legends. Um, at least in my book, they are hip hop legends. Hip when it comes to hip hop, Papoose is definitely one of my top five, along with Az. But we not in that. We not discussing that right now. We're gonna let brother Tad give his 2 cents on what's been happening in these internet streets while my brother Blacksmith get ready on the back.
Well, somebody pissed in the dating pool. That's all I can say. It's bad out here, sis. I mean, as a single black man, I could tell you it's real bad out here. And like you said, they are the symbol of love. So if Remy and Papoose can't do it, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we need Ozzy Davis and Ruby D back, resurrect them. Knowing Papoose, I had the opportunity to chill with him a few times, and get acquainted with the brother. He was very dedicated to Remy while she was incarcerated. Um, I think for those who can remember when I had my first annual banquet for the youth group party, parents actively reclaiming their youth, Papoose was actually our keynote speaker who came through and spoke to the young people. Always been a positive brother, always been a good brother. Took me with him to meet Minister Farrakhan when Farrakhan came to New York because Farrakhan requested to meet Papoose personally. Papoose is a good dude. And it's unfortunate that this day and age, when we're dealing with what is Black love, what do we see Black love as? What does it look like nowadays? I've been fortunate enough to have my mother and my stepfather demonstrate, and not just demonstrate, but really live it. You don't know the value of something while you have it. Only when you get older, you can learn to appreciate it more. So my mother and my stepfather hardly ever argued. They had disagreements, but I've never heard them yelling at each other, being disrespectful in the house. I think I said this before. My stepfather never even needed a break where he was just like, yo, I'm out. I'm out. They've been married. They got married in 1987. My mother. So, definitely over 30 years of marriage, a few years together prior to that. If anybody's seen my mother, they saw my stepfather. You saw my stepfather, you saw my mother. They were made for each other. This is the thing I thought Remy and Papoose would have. Real Black love. I think my mother and her husband got along better than both sets of my grandparents on both sides. I've seen them have disagreements, and not really raise their voice, but it was a little different than what my mother and my stepfather had. And I really, really thought that's what Remy and Papoose were. And right now it's all allegations. For those who may not know, Remy Martin is a big rapper. She was in the news a few years ago for she was convicted for supposedly shooting a female friend of hers that stole a few $1,000s out of her bag at a club when they were hanging out one night. So consequently, she was arrested. And at the time, she was dating Papoose, and Papoose stuck by her, through her whole ordeal of getting arrested, then going on trial, then being convicted and having to do the time. I think she did about 8 years. Yeah, she did 8 years in jail. And he stuck by her side. And in fact, one of the years he went to visit her just about every day. He had moved closer to her, And with me hanging out with him at that time, he was really committed and dedicated to her. Of course, women were around. He wasn't giving them a second thought. So I was impressed by that. I was like, wow, he's really, really gonna stick this 8 years out. I could commend him, But when you find that person, you hold on to them. Because one thing I've learned, Sister Keisha, about relationships is that some people just want to be married. They don't want to marry the person that God designed for them or created for them. They just want to be married for the status symbol. They just want to be in a relationship to say that they're in one. They want to do it for social media likes, and they want to do it for the photo ops and things like that. I posted a video earlier today on Instagram that was deleted by whoever posted it up. But there was a sister who said that girl trips are really for them to go out hoeing. That's what she said. She said, and if you're not with the behavior, you can't go on a trip. She said, because if you're not pro-ho, you must be anti-ho. And it was crazy, sis. It was crazy. It was flagged and pulled down earlier. I tried to share it with as many people as I possibly can because for a brother who's a little more seasoned, I pretty much already knew that about girls' trips, And what's going on with a lot of sisters right now is they want the look. They don't want the substance. They want to look like they're in a happy relationship, but meanwhile, they're still texting ex-boyfriends. They still sliding off with dudes on the job. It's just nasty out here. So with Remy, this is allegedly what's supposed to be happening. An artist that she's managing, she's supposed to be having an affair with him, and Papoose was supposedly saw some text messages from the guy and put hands on him. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. Some people are saying Papoose needs to divorce Remy Ma. Me personally, I don't know. I don't know if that's the solution. You know, if your wife cheats, if your husband cheats, because the reality is when you get married, you made a vow to your creator. You said for better, for worse. You know, if you can stick it out, stick it out. If you can work it out. Because there's a lot at stake here, more than just the image of you not tolerating nobody cheating on you and things like that. They have a child together. They have a beautiful little daughter together, and they have children. You know, they're a blended family. You know, so when you're married to someone and you have trouble, that separation is not just you and that person. It's the family. It's the division in the family. And for some reason, everybody think people are perfect. You just have to find who's perfect for you. You know, there's no perfect person out here. Unfortunately, as a black man out here, many people think us black men supposed to be superheroes. You're supposed to have six figures, be 6 feet tall, have six pack abs, and have over 6 inches, and all this crazy stuff. This is the conversation in the dating pool. That you have to spend all your money on a female. She shouldn't have to lift a finger. She shouldn't have to spend a dollar. As the man, you got to pay for everything. And she gets to keep her money and go on her girls' trips with her girls and just live her best life while you slave and toil to make her happy. Happy wife, happy life. This is the rhetoric, sis. And it's so, and I'm going to pass the mic. I just feel it's so unfortunate that a good brother like Papoose has to deal with these rumors because we don't know if this is true or not. We don't know if these things is true or not. But nonetheless, nobody wants people disrespecting their wife. You know, whether she did it or not. I'm quite sure as a man, you still don't want people disrespecting your wife because whatever decision you make to stay with her or leave, you still want her respected, you know? And I think that man has found the woman for him that the creator has designed for him. So I just hope they can really work it out. And I wish the best for them because they are the symbol of black love. And unfortunately, black love isn't perfect. You know, we have the internet now. I don't know what my mother and stepfather could have went through in their relationship, in their marriage, that made them decide to stay together and work out whatever problems they had. Because I'm quite sure they had to have some problems because they both were human. Nobody's perfect, you know. You may be perfect for someone, but you're not a perfect person, if that makes any sense. You know, I'm quite sure Ossie Davis and Ruby D had some issues that we may not know about, but since we didn't have the internet, their business wasn't spread out there like that. Now you have camera phones and microphone listening devices. You have what's that, air tags. So you have trackers you could put on people, all kinds of craziness. So there's nothing private anymore, and there's sure enough nothing sacred anymore because it's all about the attention. That's the new commodity. That's the new currency. I want everybody to look at me, look at my page, follow me, like my stuff. You know, I don't need to have respect. I don't need to have integrity. I just want to be recognized for this as being a hot couple, this, that, and the third. But again, I just really, really hope things work out for them, whether Remy did cheat or not. You know, hopefully, if she did, Papoose could find it in his heart to forgive her. Hopefully, she learned the lesson from this, if in fact she did this. And if not, you know, if she didn't do any of these things, I'm thankful that her name, her reputation, her children don't have to go through this because again, it's not just the couple; it's a whole family. It's children. There's in-laws and relatives who all support and riding for them because we need that. Only failures want to see other people fail. Successful people want to see other people be successful. And if you want a successful relationship in your life, you have to champion other successful relationships, you know. So I'm gonna step off my soapbox, let Brother Black come in here in a little while, Sister Marcia, and we could revisit this. But I just really wish the best for both of them.
Exactly, brother. First when I first heard about it, I thought about, you know, publicity. You as you said, attention is currency. And even in thinking that, I was a little bit disappointed that this would be the avenue to do such a thing. um, in a day and age where black love, black family in particular, are being picked and poked at in these internet streets. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about various things. Let me just state for the record, my girls' trips are girls' trips. I don't want no problems from Mr. Forrester. So don't come over here with that. I make it very
Now,
plain, very
now you
clear.
saying that because
And
brother Rohan is watching?
listen, I don't want no problems at all. And then the company I keep, we don't operate that way anyway. But anyway, you have people who are offering. I'm talking about vloggers and bloggers offering various commentary, as you said, as it relates to this situation that is being talked about in these internet streets. My humble opinion is mind your business. And the other thing is, why do we crave the need to look towards celebrity um, as an institution of what love is, when celebrity itself is superficial, right? It is entertainment. It is not meant to be idealized as reality. And we have a serious problem, I feel, Brother Tad, with our people looking towards others that you don't even know to give you an idea of what love is. You should look within yourself, first of all, before you even think about looking for a mate. Look within yourself, because we all come with our perspectives, our qualms and good, bad, and whatever. You have to also be willing to adjust those things when you are in a relationship, right? You have to look at what is best for the whole and not for the part, right? Could you push through for the whole? There are various circumstances that I personally believe you shouldn't be pushing through for at all. If someone is busting your head wide open, I'm sorry, but that's something you need to vacate from. If someone is a dope fiend and you can't sleep at night, you can need to vacate that operation. But anyway, we all have our level of what we can deal with and what we cannot deal with. As you said, when it comes to the entertainment world, they were looked at as a symbol of black love. Again, I think this is just a publicity stunt. This is just my opinion, but I don't know. I don't know them like that. But it's something that I thought we should talk about. And you posed the question, what is the stage of black love today? Black love today is superficial, because if everyone is chasing, you can't win when you're chasing. The race is finished when you're done running. You see what I'm saying? You can't continue to chase. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I'm not just talking about chasing individuals, chasing yourself, trying to figure out who you are. If you come to me and present yourself as this person, and then tomorrow you're that person, then you're not right within yourself and you're not right for anybody else. You're still trying to figure things out. Well, go figure things out and holler at me when you're done, because this is crazy today. I look at my own family. My father was deceased a month before I was born, but he was married to my mother. Am I clear in that? My stepfather was with my mother for 20 something years. You understand what I'm saying? I come from aunts and uncles who've been married 40, 50, 60 some odd years. I don't have to look outside, it's within. This is a true story, and I see some of my family members in the chat. But we were having a family get together, and one of my male cousins, thought he can slide some shorty through that we the family didn't know. Like, who this chick? And so I didn't say nothing, and peace be upon my cousin Teresa. We looked at each other, we started laughing. Um, And my two aunts was on the porch, and my aunt made it perfectly clear that she was going into the house to do something. But when she came out, that person had better been gone. How is it that your family allow you to bring your side chick or side dudes around? That wouldn't fly in my family. They'd be like, who the hell is this person? Don't bring that stuff over here. You know what I'm talking about, Brother Tad. That
Yes,
wouldn't
true.
fly. So
My
I'm
mother was on that
always
type of
saying,
time.
I'm always saying, who raises these people? Where does this come from? A woman of a certain age and stature should not have to throw out her boobs on social media to garner attention, right? Class is so underrated today. It's so underrated. So we're looking for superficial things to fulfill something within. That's why we continue to lose. You can be 40, 50, 60, 70, still searching. You ain't found it yet? Then that mental ain't right. That mental ain't right.
And,
And by design, we are not meant to be alone.
and that's a fact. You know what's crazy, sis? Because one of the things I'm realizing with a lot of people is they just want to get into relationships for what they can get out of it and not what they can contribute to it. To your point, we're not meant to be alone. I think every religious and spiritual text tell you that, for every man there's a woman, for every woman there's a man. We see it in the animal kingdom, we see it in nature, we see it in plant life. There are male plants and female plants of the same species that need each other to reproduce. It's just that simple. But us being the highest life form that we're aware of so far on this planet, you would think we would get it right. But you see people come into relationships for what they can get and not what they can build. Because to your point, most people don't even know who they are anymore. Self-reflection and introspection is out the window now. Hardly anybody meditating just takes quiet time to themselves and think about who they are, what they're doing, where they're going, what do they want out of life. So they're looking to other people to fulfill that void that they have. And that's because of the society we live in that teaches you everything you need is outside of yourself. Everything you want to be happy, you have to be in a relationship where you have to drive this car, you have to wear these shoes, wear these clothes. Happiness does not exist within you if you listen to the outside world, you know. But if you take the time to really get into yourself, then you'll learn to be by yourself. You'll learn what peace is. You'll learn to enjoy your own company. You'll learn to enjoy silence. And when you love yourself, you can be by yourself. You can do almost anything by it. You can go to the movies by yourself, the park by yourself, run, dance, jog, hang out with your friends without any kind of pressure. If I'm making any sense, you know what I'm saying? Like I just left my brother Mike Jones. Shout out to him. He in town for the day. I
Mike
love.
Jones.
Yeah. My dude Mike Jones. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Just left my brother. And that's a good. And I love that. Me and him get together before we party. Like, yo, I love you, bro. Yo, I love you too. That's love. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people think love comes in the form of the opposite sex and you got to be doing all this crazy stuff. And real love is when people accept you for who you are. They're not going to, like you said, not going to tolerate no shenanigans or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, they understand you're human. You're not perfect. They accept you for who you are. And particularly if somebody's working to be a better person, then by all means, you support that. Support that evolution. You support that growth. But many people think growing is obtaining things, growing your possessions, and that's not it. Because the real growth is when you start letting go of possessions. You stop trying to own people in relationships. You don't need 100 pairs of sneakers. You don't need every new cell phone that comes out. You know what I'm saying? You're not defined by your possessions. You're defined by who you are, your character, your moral compass, just the way you treat people. And every day I try to be a better person by treating myself better, by treating people around me better, people in my life, people I appreciate, people who do good things for me. Because I still get agitated by foolishness. And there's still some people I want to punch in the face. But I'm a work in progress. What can I say? I ain't got it down packed yet, sis, but I'm working in that area. But as we stand as a community, as Black people, as we talking about healing the community and moving forward, we got to realize all that stuff starts at home. And even in the home, it starts with ourselves. How do we treat ourselves? Then how do we treat our significant other? Then how do we treat our children? How do we show our children how we resolve conflicts as adults? And all of this is very important. And then we take that outside in the world. You know, like Biggie says, spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. You know, people treat it like it's a bad thing, and Black love needs to look like trips and bags and shoes and jewelry. And that ain't it.
It ain't. It's an ideal that was pushed upon you. And because you seek superficial so much, people attach that to themselves. People attach that to themselves. So you don't have to, believe us. Let's go to the master teacher. You know, Sister Keisha, stay pulling them up. Let's go to the master teacher, and then we'll bring in Brother Black, because I see he's pretty much ready. Let's go.
To destroy a community, when you want to destroy a people, as we will talk a bit about later on, you destroy the nature of their romantic love, destroy their ability to love one another in a healthy sort of way. And we will see. When you see and you think about the problems we have as people and as individuals in loving each other romantically, you must recognize in good part that problem and those problems have been set up by a political social system. Because we shall see that love, the love that we have for one another, is the greatest threat to the people who rule over us.
And there you have it. And there you have it. There you have it. The master teacher tell you right there. There you have it.
Yeah.
There you have it. There you have it. Brother Blacksmith, want to check in? What's good with you?
Can you hear me?
Peace,
Yes,
Brother
we hear
Black.
you. We
Yeah.
hear you, brother. Let's go.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What you think about this situation with Remy Ma and Papoose? Come on, Brother Black.
I was thinking how you wound up with it when you said, you think it's basically publicity stunt or whatever. Because if I know my people the way I think I do, when they asked her about it, she said he ain't going nowhere. He still love me. That's fanning the flame, or at least trying to say, well, we gonna work it out. We gonna see what's gonna happen. She put it on him when they asked her a question about her. So to me, if you a woman with a public image that you want to at least say I'm a mother and all the things you mentioned, the sister, with when she went to prison, blah blah blah, she don't have many chances to be known as a lady and like that stature that Ruby D had with Ozzy and other people of that stature. But then Keisha kind of balanced it out. At the end of the day, it's show business, brother, and we know there ain't no business like show business. So as far as that, that's how I feel on that. Whether it's true or not, I hope not, because we just had polite to break up with the family and now this. So go ahead, Keisha. You go with it.
We gonna get back on that too, of Brother Black.
Yeah,
But as I said, this is Throwback Thursday, and we throw it back here on Thorough Black Talk. We go to the elders, the
Yes,
ancestors,
ma'am.
and they give us clarification on what it is that we're talking about in the Spurgeon. Hold on.
White supremacy power reach into that home, to that African American home?
By attacking the father, the primary breadwinner. Do you see, you control the housing that is available, you control the health care that is available. Do you see? By paying a person a substantially low wage, or by comparison. Do you see? You can raise all kinds of havoc. You can raise havoc by having the black female able to advance on a job at a faster rate than her male counterpart. See, that raises all kinds of havoc in a system that says, well, the male is supposed to be the head of the household. Program via TV and everything else. You don't need a black man. You just need a white man to give you a job. At the same time, they're saying to the black man, you don't want a Sapphire. She's too argumentative. She talks too much. Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying? What you need is a white woman. Now, what does this?
Again, The ancestors will let you know what it is. They playing games with you out here because they know the root of civilization, the foundation of civilization is the black family. And so they throwing everything at you. And social media, these internet streets is just another weapon in this war. You just have to know and have discernment, what's real and what isn't. What should I take in? What should I not? What should I leave to the side? Don't even involve myself. I don't want to even know about it. You understand? Go ahead, Brother Tad.
I was gonna say what's so funny in the People History of the United States, Howard Zinn's book, he talks about that on how during our enslavement, which is one of the most horrific atrocities that has happened to us as a community in recent history, white folks didn't understand how after all they did to us, we were still able to bounce back. And then they realized it was our love for one another. And that's when they decided to divide us and sell us off. That's when they realized it, because no matter what we do to them, they bounce right back. They're very resilient. What is it about them? And they realize it's the family structure. It's daddy, it's mommy, it's the babies. And that's why the big punishment was to sell off the children. Remember, they stopped whipping us after a while. It was like, you know what? I got one for you. I'm going to sell this one off and I'm going to sell that one off. That's what's going to hurt you because we'll take the lashings for our loved ones. Hit me as much as you can. I'm not going to give up my wife. I'm not going to give up my child. Do what you want. But once they realized that no longer worked, if at all, they said, we're going to start selling them off and shipping them off. And this is how powerful it is. And this is how the remnants still exist within our culture of that process. After the Emancipation Proclamation and people were brought back together, people went back to the old plantations, to that area, looking for loved ones that were sold off. And the way you found out was by the old black men that hung out by the general store. Hey, you seen my brother Black? He used to be on the Clinton plantation over there. Oh yeah, he was sold off over there. And that's how I found Black. And Black said, well, I just found Sister Keisha was over at the Freedmen's plantation over there. And this is how we all started hanging out by the stores. Because remember, prior to the internet, that at least in New York, this is how we got our information. Hanging out by the corner stores or sitting on the stoops. This is how we found out what went on in our neighborhood. But that's from back then. This is how we kept tabs on each other. But that comes from us finding one another once we were all sold off. And slavery was supposedly abolished, and we still went looking for our loved ones. Even when you look at the story of Harriet Tubman, you read her book, Harriet Tubman, The Moses of Her People. Remember, she had escaped, and by the time she came back, her second husband had remarried because she was gone for a while. And he thought she might have been captured and killed. But her whole reason for coming back was for her family. Because remember, Harriet Tubman escaped. But she said freedom is empty if you don't have the people you love. So she came back for her siblings, particularly her brothers. Then she came back for her father. She came back for her mother. Then she came back for her husband. She came back for all those people that she loved, because love is our motivating force why we do the things we do. Even when we get up and go to these jobs that we don't like, we go get this money for our loved ones. Not necessarily for ourselves, for the people we love. But somehow they distorted what money is and what it really means to us. There's another book called The Psychology of Money, just on how we view money, that keeps us in perpetual poverty, because we know if we aggregate our money as a community, just Black Americans here in this country, we'd be like one of the 10th richest nations in the world. But the lies we've been told about money distorts our image on what it is and the value, because it's actually a tool. It's not the goal. It's not the end all be all. And the goal is to take care of our family, spend more time with them, have more time freed up so that we could be with those we love. But then we get a distorted idea of what love is, because this language we speak, this bastardized language called English, that tells you there's different types of love. You got the storge love, your agape love, I forgot the brotherly love, where the word Philadelphia come from, all romantic love. But what is love in an African context? You know what I'm saying? And we got to get back to that as Black people. Who are we? How do we love? And what does love really look like? Because what I see right now, people just love what you can do for them. They don't love you per se. They just love, what can you buy for me? Where can you take me? And yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there and step off my soapbox.
I feel you, brother, 100%. Again, family, it's the superficial ideal of what it is. We get so distracted, and it's really sad. It's really sad. I see, young, old, it doesn't even matter. I'm seeing some women in their 60s. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I see men in their 60s. Like, you have got to be kidding me. You still out here chasing? You really? Like, you crazy? But you know, I want to pull up an old clip from the Brooklyn homie Doggy Diamond. I don't think he'll worry about this too much. But I'm gonna pull up this clip. And please support
Salute the
Doggy
dog.
Diamonds TV. And please support Doggy Diamonds TV on all your streaming platforms. Let's listen to this clip. This was in 2021 from one of his broadcasts. Hold on.
Really clean up, fix our behavior as men and women, and stop emulating what them nasty people be doing. Straight up and down. We have to stop emulating that. You know what I'm saying? All these dudes want to talk about polygamy, and I want 3 wives, and I want all this. So when you got these 3 wives, they all gonna be in the same house. So you just trying to use that for an excuse to have freak off parties. It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? So cut it out. I can't give a lot of these dudes no pass for just trying to be nasty freaks. Am I giving you no pass? Because that is not our behavior. That is their behavior. You know what I'm saying? So stop trying to act like you this, you that, and the third if you nasty. Just say you want to be nasty. If you nasty, you nasty. Just say you want to be nasty. But stop doing this nasty stuff. You're having these freak off parties, but then acting like you one of us. Nah, you down with them elites. You down with that Hollywood stuff. And that's just the truth. We don't give it up like that. You know what I'm saying? We not in the room and other dudes is BA. That's how that's the slang for my hood is butt ass. We not in the room, 2 dudes in the room, 3 dudes in the room, butt ass on 3. We don't do that. Y'all do that. Y'all into them freak off parties. Y'all into all this weird stuff. Y'all into this ritualistic sex stuff. Y'all into all this other wild, crazy stuff. We ain't into that. That's not what we do. That's not what real men and women do. You know what I'm saying? And y'all be trying to have all this over sexual stuff, all this sexuality, the busted challenge. It's always some challenge that's sexual. Like the kids can't see that. It's like right now, we don't even really care about the minds of the children anymore. We don't even care what the children see. And they have access to it because it's starting to become front and center. What about the children? Everybody was talking about the children, save the babies, the kids this, the kid. What about the children? What happened to protecting what they see? And let's stop shaping them and molding them, and let's stop sexualizing children. Let's stop, because when they start getting into this crazy stuff, you can't beat their ass because you're doing it too. The busted challenge? Come on, man. I seen girls like, it's like OnlyFans is the women mixtape now. Like everybody think they a rapper and got a SoundCloud and a mixtape. OnlyFans became the female mixtape. What are we doing? What are we doing? Come on, man. We gotta scale back from all of this sex stuff, all of this, everything is not about, because now it's at a point where we don't even respect each other no more. You know what I'm saying? We don't even respect each other. There is no courting no more. There is no courting in relationships. You meet a girl automatically. If she not busting it open, if she not sending you certain pictures, if she not doing certain stuff, you moving on to the next one. And this is what we doing. The link up is almost got to be automatic now. At one point, women used to make you wait like 3 to 6 months to get a kiss. Now, if you ain't linking up that first, if she ain't a first night kill, I ain't rocking with her. So now you got women who trying to compete with hoes. Because it looked like the hoes is winning. Because he went and bought her a 3-month lease car. See, y'all don't even be know. Yo, man, it's so much craziness that y'all don't understand. Y'all be saying, yo, he bought her a new car. He bought her a Maybach truck. Don't you know that some of them cars got like a 3-month lease? I'm not lying to you. You know, I wouldn't even get on here and lie to y'all. Some of these got a 3-month lease car. So they show it off for you.
So I'm just saying, you know, we have to stop the shenanigans. Like, enough is enough. What do you want? What do you want? I'm serious. I'm really serious. Two main components in maintaining a relationship: knowing what you want and having the ability to compromise.
Yeah. And part of that was
Go ahead, brother.
part of that spiel was about the sucker polite. You know,
I was
right
going to
now,
say
you want to
from
be a
last
freak.
week. Go ahead.
You want to sit here and act like, yeah, I'm a polygamy. These are my wives. Like I said, he's just a silver-tongued pimp. And call it what it is, man. Because the moment Sucker Polite, and for those who don't know, Sucker Polite just got convicted of child abuse / child molestation, found the semen on a 14-year-old girl. The whole time he's denying it, talking about charges was dropped, even through a party. Sister Keisha, that's what I'm saying. The audacity. Where's the humility? Where's the remorse? That's why he need his ass kicked. You're not even remorseful for what you did to that child. You know, and again, we're supposed to be protectors of the community. So you want to be a freak. You want to talk about these are your wives, and you try to scoop up a little 14-year-old and put her in your little harem. And he need his ass kicked. Make no mistake about it, no qualms about it. Then you don't even have a level of humility about it. You're not even remorseful for what you did to that child. But this is the foolishness we got to deal with. Because people join because they want to be part of Polite's harem. Because look, he's in a Maybach. He's in a Rolls Royce. He moved out to Hollywood. He did this, that, and the third. But he came in like the Pied Piper, acting like he was all about the community, all about the uplifting of the community. The black woman is God. Let's protect the black woman. I know pandering when I hear it. He was pandering to the women, you know? And just like a thief in the night, everybody let him in. Everybody let him in. Oh, he's so smart. He's so sharp. Later that he got caught in lie after lie after lie after lie. Oh, they don't have no jurisdiction over me because I know my status. Oh, we building these self-sustainable homes. We turning these containers into homes. So donate so we can expand more. Stealing from the peoples. Stealing from the peoples. And there's other lies that he told. Even up to this case. I can't wait to hit.
Facts, brother Ted. He's still, like you
I'm
said,
still not that dude.
no remorse whatsoever, and still
Sis, he was
trying
in
to
our
clean
midst.
himself. Yes,
He was in our midst.
yes, yes, yes. And like you said, pandering. First of all, I don't know. We might have to do a whole show. I think we did already on this polygamy.
Not enough.
But
Because I'm ready to put foot to it.
I'm embarrass a whole lot of people when it comes to this foolishness. I'm not with the foolishness at all. I'm not with the foolishness. But you know, again, we go to our ancestors. Cultural divide. Let's stay focused, family. Then we bring in Sister Marcia. I see her getting ready.
You are so individual. Why then does social disintegration The disintegration of a social system leads so often to individual disintegration. People beginning to lose their minds, beginning to lose their sense of self, their sense of direction and purpose and meaning when the society itself becomes unraveled. People committing suicide during depressions and other things when jobs are lost. All of those self-made people and self-determining people all of a sudden coming loose when the social system itself begins to fall apart. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that social structure that builds the infrastructure of the individual. That the male is designed for struggle and war. Yes, and I know some of you feminists don't want to deal with it, but it's set up that way. I try to get people to understand that the definition of what it means to be a man is a social definition. There is a difference between being a male and a man. Yes, that is why male boys must be trained to be men. Men are created and trained to be. We must understand that. You also must understand that the word man is a nurturing term. Yes, a man is a nurturer of his people. He does not have babies, but he still nurtures his so-called.
You know, again, our ancestors lay it out plain for us. It's just, and you know, he is or was one of the greatest psychologists ever. Dr. Amos Wilson. Again, we said a couple of weeks ago on an episode of 60 Days In, one of the black psychologists was reading Dr. Amos Wilson.
Yes.
Come on. What, as Brother Tad and Brother Ashe clearly stated many times on this platform, what a man and a male is. There is a difference. And sisters, if you out there chasing males, you're going to get what you're looking for. You're going to get what you're looking for. But I see my sister Marcia on the background. Let me bring her in here. Sister Marcia, how you feeling? What's good, sis?
Peace, Sister Marcia.
Peace, family. How's everybody today?
I want to know your thoughts on this issue with Black love. I mean, what is the stage of Black love today from your perspective?
It's out there. I haven't achieved it yet, but it's out there. I believe in it. I believe in our brothers. I believe that, the king, the leader is out there. I just haven't met mine, but I can't wait to meet him. That's all I think today.
You know, I'm hearing the same arguments on both sides of the aisle. And again, you have to understand the fact that propaganda is warfare. These internet streets is warfare, and it has warped so many minds.
Absolutely.
So many minds. You know, that's just, sometimes I'm traveling about and I'm looking and conversing with people, and I just look at them like this mofo is crazy. like and they stand in front of you as if they have all sanity.
Yep.
You know, last weekend, my sisters and some friends of mine and my cousin, we went out to, we was uptown. We went to Vegandale on Randall's Island.
Okay. How was that?
Vegandale was popping.
Okay.
And Rick Ross performed out there, Styles P, few others.
Get an invite. I would have went.
You would have went?
You didn't invite me.
All the vegan vendors was out there. Melody Fox, who took an interview with me. If you follow her on Instagram, you'll see that.
Oh, yes, definitely salute Sister Melody Fox.
Next time, sis. Next time. I got you. Actually, my sister, one of my sisters bought tickets for me. So, and my other sister. So we went. And then my cousin and some of my swap sisters joined us. But we were watching people move about. I mean, some big and zesty dudes was out there, just big and zesty with halter tops. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I feel bad. I feel bad for my sisters.
It's hot out here for the
See,
same.
Hey,
females,
Keisha.
I see females with broad shoulders like they in the NFL. I'm like, I feel so bad for my brothers.
Hey, Keisha, they call them halter tops ghetto onesies now.
For real.
I'm sorry, I had to say it. I'm going back to mute.
Well, look. That's what happens when too many dudes is too many of them. Too much estrogen and that soy they eating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm
need some beef, brother Tad.
you know, I eat me a plate of oxtails in a New York minute. I'm telling you, I said it's too
Yes,
much.
he would.
Too much of that Dr. Sabi diet, if you ask me. I ain't gonna bite my tongue.
Balance. But at the end of the day, tell us.
Ain't no end of the day. Because look, this is the thing. If you're gonna be a warrior and you're gonna be a bloodshedder, you can't be afraid of blood. These dudes don't want to harm a chicken, let alone harm another human. Get out my face. Get out my face. Go chew your chew stick, sip your tea, and just bandage up dudes' legs and gunshot wounds when they come back. Get off the battlefield. Sister Keisha already told you the difference between men and males. Now, this ain't a knock on some of my vegan brothers, because some dudes is about that life. But a lot of vegan dudes, only because they don't want no parts of no blood, they don't want to harm no animals, they just want to burn their incense and sip their green tea and chat problems away. That ain't how it's going to happen. You got to be proactive in this thing right here. We listened to Dr. Frances Cress Welsing earlier in the show. And one of the things she said in her book, The ISIS Papers, that it's going to take strong black male masculine muscles to stop white supremacy. It's not going to take no intellect. It ain't going to take no dance off. It's going to take hands and feet on ass and face. Hands and feet on. You're going to have to hurt some people. And some of these dudes ain't into that. They nonviolent. And that's okay. If that's who you are, be that. But you got to get out the way. So what has happened is so many dudes have become so nonviolent, they don't even want no conflict. So they don't even like rejection of women. So they start rubbing up on their homies, going to the gym, going to the football and basketball practice, smacking each other on the ass. And yeah, things done changed.
Oh, it's too much. I cannot.
They eat too much broccoli. All that because they eat too much broccoli. Then get you a chicken wing. Get you some fried chicken. Get you a medium rare steak or something. Because, yeah.
It's
Get off my
brute force. It's going to take brute force. We can play this political game if we want to. We can dilly-dally with this if we want to. You know, all jokes aside, it's going to take brute force. And that's the reason to emasculate black males. That's the reason for it. Because they know if you get on your right time, it's over.
We saw it with the propaganda campaigns, with the Maury Povich show. Remember he had the trannies coming on? You know, is that a male or a woman? Would you date this person? Would you? Come on. Remember a Jenny Jones episode where they were revealing secret crushes and one dude came out and his crush was another dude. And he ended up going back to their town and he killed them.
Yep, facts.
Because
that people was the end of Jenny Jones after that.
Yeah. Real men are not going to play this game that society's trying to set up. Polite to play that game because he gonna act like he ain't had that tranny in his rented car before. Talking about that tranny wasn't with him, it was with his lady friend. Nah, come on, man. You know me, sis. I ain't doing trans nothing. We ain't doing transportation. We're not doing trans fat. We're not doing transmissions. We not doing transparency. We ain't doing trans nothing. I don't even call the Mayafa. I don't even call it the transatlantic slave trade. It's just the Mayafa. As Bobby Baruti said, trade means a fair exchange. So there was no trade. So ain't no transatlantic slave trade. It was the Mayafa, the great suffering. Trans nothing.
I cannot with that.
We're not even dancing the Trans-Bureau Express. Nothing.
Hey, speaking of which, y'all notice how they trying to morph this Billy Porter breaking up with his husband thing and all of this mixed with relationship gossip about relationships. Y'all notice that too? He's still in the news. Billy Porter.
I'm about to say I stopped eating because of the rainbow.
Okay, but I'm just saying it's all in there too.
I'm teasing, bro.
Yeah. But that's a different audience, though. I just bring it up because I ran across it a few days ago. Yeah, again.
I don't care about no Billy Porter. He could go sit back down in the corner and wear whatever he wants to wear. I'm not against your life, but just like Brother Tad said, stay where you belong. You want to bandage up wounds, stay back there. Let the people that's ready to work do the work and do the work well.
I'm gonna stay out of Zestlandia.
Stay in your lane. Get out of here with it.
Are classifying themselves as white or whether they're black. Anybody who refuses to talk about racism, white supremacy, hates black people. I want to go on record as saying that because racism is a spear in the hearts of black people. You see, and it is leading us to genocide. And so to refuse to talk about it, you see, or not want to talk about it, hates black people. I mean, in other words, if it's killing us and if it's destroying our future, why isn't that hate?
I played that clip because we're going to keep it going on to our next topic. Now you have Mayor Adams along with the mayor of Chicago going back and forth over this migrant issue. Now they calling Mayor Adams the Trump, the Democratic Party's Trump, right? Something like that, Sister Marcia. But he's now complaining, as we showed last week, and the mayor of Chicago was telling Adams, quit whining about it. They're not going to destroy your city. But today, I was watching the news before I came on, and they were saying that within 30 days, for the migrants coming from Venezuela in particular, they will have all of their paperwork done. They will have guaranteed jobs in 30 days. You have young men and women who sit outside all day, can't find a job. So that tells you that, for all you voters out there, that these jobs could have been filled a long time ago with our brothers and sisters who were sitting out on the street all day long, with those who come from the penitentiary, for those who leave the foster care, who age out of the foster care system. Instead of them turning to the streets, where was the guaranteed housing and jobs for them? Again, we are told to wait. Mayor Adams recently stated that New York City employees should not expect to participate in overtime to gain more revenue for yourselves. This is pathetic. And I say, where the hell are these unions at? Where the hell are these unions at? Y'all know I hate them mofos. Because they the biggest hustlers going. Sister Marcia, I see you bobbing your head up and down. Go in on this issue with these two mayors. What's been happening here?
Listen, I haven't been up on the news, but the information that you just provided was enough. And he's demanding total of 15%, right? But within the next 6 weeks, 5% of all city businesses must cut revenue somehow in order to feed this situation that's going on. And in all of this, I don't care where the migrants are from, but you don't see those of diasporic descent in the conversation. Where is that? Where are we? Those are still our brothers and sisters. And if the Venezuelans can get jobs, where is the line that says these Africans, these diasporic people, these people from Haiti, these people from Jamaica, Ghana, Niger, any place that they're fleeing from, getting benefits as well. We're still the underdog. And again, brothers on the streets, underdog. Why are we continually the underdog? Because we don't check people. We check everybody, but the people that matters is policies. We're too afraid to talk about policies. Too afraid to do this and too afraid to do that. And that's tough.
It is. It is. And again, those coming from the diaspora, you shouldn't expect much because look at us. Look at us. You shouldn't expect much.
Because if you can't check home, how are you going to check next door?
Exactly. 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 And as my brother Ashe always says, the battlefield is where you stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we know that these Europeans are coming into your homeland, causing all kind of corruption, um, funneling and running with drug cartels and various other entities to overthrow governments, to interject in the political arena to take over. You have to fight where you are. And I'm saying this because it's a realty. You have to fight where you are. We have to fight where we at. I'm looking at online the other day, white people who have left the United States many years ago and settled in Brazil still have Confederate parades, right? But you never see African Americans who have left the United States have an African American Day parade anywhere. You never see us interject ourselves into foreign governments to advocate for the natives because it's disrespectful to do so. And diasporic Africans must understand this philosophy because I see us falling into the same trick bag that we fell into many years ago. Intelligence is so important. It's so important. It's so important. I see it. But as my brother Taz said last week, we sat with Dr. Arankana a few years ago, and she talked about Ghana and the um, Wakanda cities, starting these Wakandan cities in various African countries, in particular Ghana. And when she spoke, I read the room. There was some who came to see her. There was some who came with her. And she chastised Africa for not doing a good enough job to seek out those of us in the diaspora and that they had to get on board with it. She also chastised governments like France and others. And as she was speaking, I read the room. And when she was done, I had a conversation with her. And then I said it to the audience that they are going to come for you immediately. And unfortunately, Dr. Arankana, you will not have this position much longer. I said that on the
You
mic
did.
because I read the room. Intelligence should always be at the forefront of anything that you're doing. And I saw the faces of some of the people when she spoke and when I spoke. And I said, the jig is up. There's a snitch in a hen house and the jig is up. And the week later, in the news, across my television screen, it said Dr. Arankana have been removed as the spokesperson for the African Union.
Yeah.
Brother Tad was there. That came up in my timeline today, Brother Tad.
I was about to say, yeah, it came up in my timeline too, and it's just so crazy, sis. I wish you could find the lecture of Dr. Claude Anderson talking about the Spanish people coming to take over, to replace us. Because me being an employee of the city of New York, trust me, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. They do want to cut our money. And what's so frustrating about it is it's our taxes that are sponsoring these people to come in and take our jobs.
Absolutely.
Jobs of our brothers and sisters and sons and nephews and nieces and daughters who
And like,
need employment. And all of a sudden they find billions of dollars for people who aren't even citizens, for people who aren't in imminent danger. Granted, you want to come here and live a better life. I hear it. I get it. Cool. But why not create a better life where you are? Why not do it at home? You know, it's just so unfortunate what has happened. But again, I think we discussed this on the show before. We saw this trick 100 years ago when they sent for the Southern Europeans to outpace Black people. Because as long as we're developing and becoming self-sufficient, we become a threat to this society. As long as we're loving each other, as long as we're taking care of each other, we become a threat to the society because we've been cannon fodder for this country since its inception. Since they came, we were the first criminals. Just our existence was criminal. Even after the Emancipation Proclamation with Black Code laws, we were criminal. So they have to vilify somebody. Somebody has to be the bad guy to fill the privatized prisons. And somebody has to be the workforce. But since we have a historical connection, and now after COVID, we learned so much because we had no choice but to sit down and learn this stuff, Sister Keisha, that us four have been sharing for decades now. People are becoming more aware. They're starting to see through the matrix, starting to see through the veil. And now they need a new set of fools who don't understand how this system operates. And it's just so unfortunate because with Mayor Adams, you got the support of the people. You got the support of city workers, particularly Black people.
why? Because he's Black? Like, what is the reason
Not,
that people are supporting him?
this.
He's already torn us down so many times
I'm gonna give you
before.
the mic. I'm gonna give you the mic. I'm gonna give you the mic. But to the question why, because I know that was a rhetorical question, but for those who don't know, because we can't assume that all the viewers understand New York City politics and the history of these people. Why did so many Black people vote for Mayor Adams? Because he once was a city employee. He once was a New York City police officer. He once was a member of 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care, who we know did phenomenal work in the community. So you were part of grassroots movements prior to your political position. This is how you got the support. But for those who may not know, he was the Brooklyn Borough president too, before he became the mayor. And that's when we seen his flip-flopping ways. But of course, that was only in Brooklyn. That wasn't Bronx, that wasn't Queens, that wasn't Staten Island, that wasn't Manhattan. So they didn't get a taste of his flip-flopping policies and the things he did. And it was a shame that that little fat white man, Marty Markowitz, was a better borough president than Eric Adams. It's just a shame. But we thought since you ran with grassroots movement people, that you really had your finger on the pulse of the community. And this is how he weaseled his way into becoming mayor. And right before de Blasio left, de Blasio put all these BS policies in place 3 weeks before he was out of office. And Eric Adams came in and said, I'm going to uphold these policies that he put in place instead of striking them down. And that's when I knew we was in super big trouble. So I say all that to say F Mayor Adams, F Eric Adams. This family show, so I can't say the whole word, though I can. I'm not going to, because you're a grave disappointment to everybody who supported you and believed you. And now you don't let the genie out the bottle. You can't put the lid back on because now you want to help for some people that don't even want to see you succeed. So now you asking Biden, who don't even remember his name. Get out of here. Get out of here. And it's unfortunate. It's like bittersweet. It's unfortunate that it's happening because us New Yorkers have to bear the brunt of it. But it's good for you that it's happening because you knew better. And you still went in the other direction against the people. So again, F you, Mayor Adams. And you can have the mic, Sister Marcia. I'm sorry.
Moratorium He may not have had the background that you just gave him. But here's my point. Like all of these grassroots organizations that got the chivy from him, no one was screaming loud. They would talk behind closed doors, but no one was screaming loud. And that's, I think, our problem as a community. We don't scream loud enough. We know that the wolf is there, but we just leave him amongst the sheeps and we're just like, oh, somebody else will scream. And when we're not open, when we don't speak our piece, crap happens and crap happens on us too. So, you're right.
You, no,
Listen,
I agree, sis. And you got to remember, with Mayor Adams, it's a lot of personal relationships. A lot of, because I'm quite sure I know a few folks that had
Persons. Who cares about person? Because even the
no,
persons, even
no,
individuals have gotten the chivy, not just groups, individuals.
right, and
And
that
so that goes down to that whole accountability and stepping
yes,
on people's back and making sure it's heard. Keeping secrets, it's what's killing our community.
yes,
Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, the bigger the position is, the better they're going to do for us. And the bigger the position is, the less they're doing for us. You said he did nothing for Brooklyn. Brooklyn is so different. Every time I'm in Brooklyn, I'm just like, this is not the Brooklyn I was stifled, the stadium, his high school is being turned into something. So what is going on? And he made no ways for our people, no matter where we are in the diaspora. He made no way for us. All those grassroots organizations, he made no way for them.
right, and I agree with you 100%. And this goes back to what we were talking about at the top of the show when we were discussing Remy and Papoose. People like the photo ops. They don't want to damage that relationship because they still want to be seen next to the person. Later for the substance, we just going for the aesthetics. We're gonna take this photo op. I'm gonna show people, yeah, I know him, he cool, da 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 da. Yeah, I told him, but what has really been done? Nobody's really pulled up on him. And maybe that's what he needs to see. Maybe he needs to see some friends stand on the other side of the aisle against him, like, brother, you're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. Because that's one of the, I agree with everything you said, sis. And that's the gift and the curse about us. Our loyalty to certain people, our loyalty to a fault, our love that has us going in the wrong direction. Just because we love somebody, don't mean we agree with everything they do.
The political numbers here in New York to make him speak, to check him. We're just not using our power. We're using our
listen. I
power.
want to. I'm sorry. I just want to say this real quick. When he was a police officer, he was employed by the city of New York. When he was a member of the a certain grassroots organizations we're talking about, he became interesting to the state. When he became the borough president, he became interesting to the country. When he became the mayor of New York City, which includes Wall Street and Times Square and all those institutions that are known worldwide, he became a world figure. He is the mayor of the empire and the president of the king of the empire before he went to the money. He's in charge of Wall Street. So if it's a city thing, it don't have to leave his office for him to put his rubber stamp. So these are the things that. So where is his interest inside of everything I just said now, as opposed to him being a cop with grassroots organizations behind his name?
Agreed, brother. 100%. I couldn't say any better. Um, Now we're gonna play this old clip. Shout out to the community cop crew. I found this clip of Father Lucas a couple of weeks back. Now, I think this was a broadcast from 13 years ago. But anyway, Father Lucas explains in a snippet um, what these people are actually running from. And I think that we also have to understand the humanity in all of it. It's just a sad situation all the way around. When I'm in Midtown and I'm looking at these people, especially those from the continent and the Caribbean, it's just a terrible situation because they just roaming the city. But we'll let Father Lucas give us a little background. Hold on, here we go.
American citizens based on what happened on 9/11, to the degree where people say that they want to feel safe, but is it worth it? Or not is it worth it, but at the expense of giving up your rights without some kind of balance. Father Lucas, do you see there being a balance? Do you ever see the rights ever coming back for the American citizen after what happened in 9/11?
No, and I think it was Jefferson, if I'm not mistaken, that whoever gives up his rights for the guise of security deserves neither security nor his rights. You cannot take away people's rights under the guise of security unless you have a plan. And I think that plan is fairly visible today. Not only was 9/11 the excuse for the elimination of most of not only civil rights, but a lot of our God-given rights, but it was the excuse for the United States bombing people all over the world today and increasing the wealth of the corporations that make money on, I won't say wars, these are not wars, these are invasions and in some cases occupations of other people's country.
Sorry. So many things are intertwined in all of this. And I found this clip of Father Lucas, peace be upon the great Father Lucas, the only Catholic church with a red, black, and green flag in it that I know of. But anyway, he's just letting you know that number one, as Black people champion our cause, they have turned a deaf ear. And the law is not here to protect you. The law is not here to protect those migrants that are coming in because they're going to get played too. They're going to get the worst end of the stick. They just don't know it yet. Because situations are causing various communities to uproar. I rode past Floyd Bennett Field the other day, protest outside of Floyd Bennett Field. Over there on Staten Island, they going crazy over there. On Long Island, they going crazy over there. But you notice they never drop these migrants over on Central Park West. Why not Millionaires Row over there? There's not even a conversation of such because they know better. They know the lower class is going to tolerate it because of two conditions that Brother Taz stated earlier. Either they don't have the brawn or they are afraid. Period. Period.
So afraid because that's why they left their home country. You were too afraid to check your own government with the bull crap that was happening there. So you escaped. You came here and the people are afraid here too. Everyone is afraid and everyone has the numbers, but yet they don't want to stand on it. We have the numbers. We just are too afraid to move. So we stay stuck and we stay in this whole arrested development over and over again, and the cycle continues.
Well, you dropped the mic, Sister Marcia. That was the mic.
It's over. He said it's over.
American Black Journal
Here's a clip of Dr.
episode
Claude
featuring
Anderson. Let's
economist
check this out.
Dr. Claude Anderson.
An alternative economic structure in the simplest form would be a Japantown, a little Korea, a little Italy, a little Havana, which means where Black folk would do exactly the same thing everyone else is doing. The reason we never had an economic structure in the country for Black folk is for three reasons. One, we never had a national plan and a commitment to do it. Two, is that whites are boycotting Black communities, and three, Blacks are boycotting their own communities. And that's why you'll never see a white person get in his car, go down to a Black neighborhood on a Saturday morning, get out and go into a Black store and buy anything made by a Black person. But neither will you see any Asians coming out of Chinatown, going into a Black community, buying anything. Everybody supports their own structure except black folk. That's why out of 36 million black folk, after 400 years in this country, you do not have one single solitary black business district in the entire United States. That is naivete, it is insultive, and it's grossly offensive to black folk, because you're creating problems for yourselves by not belling up to the bar and accepting responsibility of amassing wealth and capital, creating economic basis, creating an entrepreneurial class, creating businesses, creating jobs that will hire your own people, creating money to take care of your own public services, your lights, your gas, your streets.
How do black people start doing all those things if 98% of the wealth is in the hands of the white power elite?
We started working that very simple. We start where we are. We are right now amassing for disposable purposes something like about $380 billion annually. We're about the 9th richest nation on earth, but unfortunately, that money is dissipated through our fingers.
To save yourselves and survive, you got to go out and start rebuilding communities. You cannot get power and wealth unless you have communities. Everybody in America have communities except us. We do not have one single solitary black community in America. All we got are black neighborhoods. A black neighborhood is like a bucket with a hole in it. It won't hold anything. You can pour water in all you want to. A community, to be a community, you must have 3 elements in it to have a community. You must have a wholly independent economic structure with people in there who are producing goods, services, and jobs and business opportunities for their own people. 2, you must have a code of conduct that teaches you how to support and buy from those people who you live with and look like you. And 3, you must have some governance or some organization that will speak for you in politics. We don't have any of that. Every organization we got speaks for everybody. You go out and look at the book, you'll find Asian organizations, Jewish organizations, Korean organizations, Chinese organizations, but you won't find any black organizations. You'll find the Urban League. What's that? We don't know who that is.
I mean, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is, family. There it is.
The
Stop
one
playing.
thing, the one thing I would like try to separate or try to add in, because I don't think he ever added the fact that we had many communities at one time in the United States and across the world, but something broke it. And I don't think he spoke about that broken part outside of slavery. I'm talking about during the Reconstruction. We had communities. We had communities up to the 1940s that existed. That pain, that trauma that happened there, that made that we no longer maintain communities, even before the drugs come into the communities in the 80s. That whole idea that we had communities at one point, and because we didn't have military science accompanying everything else, that's what broke us down. And military science, the men, the brute force, that part, we need that coverage in order to maintain community, because we've had them. We can never say we haven't had them. We just haven't had them last 100 years, 120 years, like, you know, NAACP.
We had it in recent history. I mean, the Black Panther Party for self-defense, you still had the Deacons of Defense. All that was necessary. I mean, that's why we still hollering free political prisoners. You know?
What I'm saying is we don't have the legacy of 100 years of a community. That 100 years of a community gives generational wealth, community wealth.
Let me ask you, do you really believe that? Because me being a black man, generations here in America, I've seen the black community as recent as the late 70s, where the grocery stores, the supermarkets, and I think he did touch on that, but not to your point.
What decimated those communities?
Drugs and policies.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying
that legacy.
Military science to protect our communities from getting the drugs in the community, from getting all of those things. That's the part, because at one point they were burning down houses. They had the, you know, cross outside. They were, you know, that science we're missing as a community. That's all I'm saying.
No. Let me correct it. Let me correct it, because there may be some misunderstanding, because a lot of that did not go unchecked. Of course, they're not going to tell you that because they never want to show Black people in a position of resisting. So we did kick the Ku Klux Klan ass. A lot of the great flights from the South weren't just for better opportunities or fear of the Klan. It was because dudes was putting hands on the Klan, killing Klansmen, and having to flee the South. So let me finish this. So in terms of the legacy of a Black community, what I'm telling you is that we've had it all the way up to the 70s, because remember, the Civil Rights Bill wasn't passed until the 60s. So prior to the Civil Rights Bill, we had no choice but to stay within our own community, keep our money within the community. And even Dr. King said when he fought for desegregation, not integration, but this is the language, this is the trick. He said he did not march for Black dollars to leave the community. This is the part that Dr. King that they never let you hear, because Dr. King talked about that money, that March on Washington, not the first one.
The second one.
About money, but these are things that are not taught to our people. So we're only given the "we shall overcome." I have a dream, and we know less than 3 years later, he said, "I spoke prematurely. My dreams and nightmares." No, I'm speaking to I'm speaking to your statement of us not having that legacy of at least 100 years of community, because we did, and I don't want people who are unaware to really take that statement as factual. So I'm giving you something to put in your toolkit, because everything we saying we want, we've already had.
Brother, I'm not saying that it's omitted. What I'm saying is he never, in speeches that I've seen from the past, he never talked about those Black communities that exist.
He did. Are you serious? He talked about his family having those things. He talked about his family having a cab company.
Right. He's from one.
Right. He talked about these things time and time again.
But we didn't maintain it. I think
Wait, are you referencing?
Because
hold on, sis. Are you referencing Dr. King or Dr. Claude Anderson?
Say that again.
Are you referencing Dr. King or Dr. Claude Anderson?
Claude Anderson. Because I'm not saying that he doesn't even know those things exist. I'm saying that he doesn't bring down the breakdown of this thing is because we don't have science. We don't have the protection of the people to keep things going. In order to safeguard our community from getting a predator like Polite to come in, is people checking. Getting that check process, that check and balance is what we're lacking, because we could achieve everything once we have that check and balance. We don't have the check and balance.
He did that not only in Hidden Colors too, but he talked about it. He talked about the economy. He talked about the politics. He talked about the protection of the community. He talked about these things. I think you just go back and revisit, because I think sometimes we get on information overload and sometimes those things get lost. Because for some of the people who may be in the audience may not even know who Dr. Claude is, may not know who Dr. Amos Wilson is, may not know who Dr. Francis Cress Wilson is.
Challenging them to do their research. We could debate as far as we want. We're challenging the audience.
I'm not debating you. I'm not debating you. I'm just telling you. Okay. Because there is no debate. He's done these things. That's why I'm giving you references. That's why I'm telling you, go back to Hidden Colors too. I'm giving you exactly where it was. This is not the opinion. This is facts. This is where this thing is at. When he talked about protection of the community, how to build it, he said you treat it like a 5-story building, and he talked about what you got to have on the first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, and the fifth floor. Because what you're saying is very important. But I don't want people to miss the point and think that these things are not possible and not doable, because I've heard people who haven't done the research and really speak out of emotionalism based on who the speaker is. It's like the people who follow Sucker Polite. They took everything he said at the face value. I knew that dude ain't speak all them languages, and I know he ain't write no 90 books. Because you're talking to an avid reader, the man with his own library. I've done been to Nicholas bookstore. I done been to Nkiru bookstore when Talib Kweli. I went to bookstores and libraries, and not once have I seen the Brother Polite book, period. Not in no vendors on the street, not at all these pro-Black events we go to, not the African American, not the African Street Festival, not at Dance Africa Band Bargain Bazaar. Nowhere have I seen any of this.
Yo, Tad, when I come back to New York, I'm gonna slide up on you and say, brother, would you like a bean pie in the book?
and I might cop a bean pie, and I'll buy your book. You got to autograph it. But Sucker Polite was selling $30 vegan plates with just rice, cabbage, and a biscuit. And he got to get hands and feet put on.
Boy, you love going in on him, huh?
Yeah, because you know why? Because Sister Keisha and I have been saying for years, and everybody's supporting them. When we was with Straight Black Pride, everybody thought we was hating. And I'm like, nah, we not hating. I think this Brooklyn thing that me and Sister Keisha have, being from Brooklyn, being from the same neighborhood and community, we have an innate vetting process that we have. We have to know who your peoples are. Who are you? Who could validate for you? Who could vouch for you? Who are you? When nobody knows who you are and you come from relative obscurity, we got to watch you. But this is an age-old thing. It's like if you in the community and the dude come in selling snake oil. You know what I'm saying? It's like a dude to sell you the problem and then sell you the solution. All he's doing is capitalizing off your ignorance. And you gotta make it real shiny, real nice for people to purchase. I see Sister Keisha gonna play a video. I want to end it to this one thing. There was an artist, I can't remember his name. He had an exhibit in the Brooklyn Museum, right? Check the fly part. He was selling elephant dung. Why do I say that? He was making paintings and then putting elephant dung, elephant crap on the painting. So people was coming from miles around to see the exhibit. Now, were they coming to see the painting or were they coming to see the elephant poop on the painting? He pretty much sold people poop, but packaged it with a painting, and people bought it. Hook, line, and sinker.
That was during Giuliani, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
If you don't have
he was an artist from Africa somewhere.
There's another brother recently. The museum is asking him to pay them back $77,000. He gave them a blank canvas, put it up in the wall. They were like, yo, you got to run us back our money. And he's like, you bought the painting called Blank. That's what you got. Nothing.
That's right. You got to get receipts for what people are selling.
Then tell me what you didn't tell you when you commissioned my painting. You said, here's the money, paint us a painting. This is what I wanted to give you. That's what you got. Shut up. The contract is solidified. There's no way of, like, if you don't commission, and you said, here's the money for the canvas, I gave you the canvas. Thanks.
You know how they pay you back? They just don't let you in their venues anymore. But so you still make money, but you ain't gonna make what you used to because you're not around billionaires. Now you're around millionaires.
Gave into something else. That's all right. It's all good. I got my 77,000. I could scheme.
Look, just like the snake oil salesman, you'll find in Newtown. Polite did it. Umar did it. Umar done milked the African Center community. He ran to the church. He done burnt the church down, said there's a new flock of people in the African Center community. He came back. Once he drives the new crop of people who wasn't there in 2015, 2014, 2013, 10 years ago, once he burned them out, he's going to go right back to the church and get that new crop. There's a sucker born every minute, as P.T. Barnum said.
I got you here. I got you there. I always have a stream of income. Know your audience. That's right, Brother Tad. Know your audience. They'll flip and flop right back at you.
Sister Keisha, take it away.
As you know, we were discussing, and my brother and my sister politely try to expound upon this false imposed culture, right? This is where this non-belief comes from, this self-imposed culture. But again, let's go to an animated version of the great Dr. Francis Wells Welsing. Here we go.
In the last 500 years, Black people in this area of the world, we can say that there's no such thing as Black culture. What there is what the system of racism, white supremacy programs Black people to do. You see, in other words, if the system of racism, white supremacy says, you are not going to be scientists, you are not going to be highly functioning doctors and lawyers and teachers, you are not going to have stable family life, You are not going to respect sex. Now, your role is to entertain me. So you can jump up and down and sing. You can dance. And yes, you're good at sports. You can do that in some venues. That's what I'm going to allow you to do. I'm not going to allow you to have stable communities, because if you have a Tulsa, Oklahoma, I'm going to burn that down. If you think you're going to stabilize a so-called middle-class community and you're going to have a home that's mortgaged, I'm going to see that those mortgages are foreclosed so that you can be into family dissolution, place of living dissolved. So what we can say is that we have an imposed culture under the power dynamics of racism, white supremacy. See, I can see right now in my mind the picture of Beyonce with her legs wide open at the Super Bowl for last year. It was so appalling to me, I can't get it out of my mind in terms of what has been done to us. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we would be wiser. No, we are trying to get ourselves to the point where we can establish what we would then call black culture, where we will no longer be victims of a system of racism, white supremacy. So once the system of racism, white supremacy has been replaced with a system of justice, that's when we will start talking about our culture. That's when we will begin talking about who we really are as black people.
So there you have it, family. There you have it. I mean, again, what we got to do is go back to the elders, go back to the ancestors. They've given us all that we need. All that we need. The problem is this falsity of culture, right? This illusion of reality. It is crept in on everything. Speaking of that, Brother Black, this whole Mexico thing with their little critter they found.
Okay. Yeah, that's something.
Come
Brother
give it
Tad.
to us, brother. Come
I'm
give it to
surprised
us.
Brother Tad ain't asked first. That's what he was saying last week, in between all the other profound stuff he was talking about. But anyway, real talk. I sent y'all that link. I don't know if y'all saw it about a few days ago. I'm sorry for the background noise. I'm outside. I wasn't able to make it back. It should be done in a second. So if it's bothering you, I'll stop. If not, I'll just continue. Anyway, thank you, brother. What I was saying was, for years, it's since modern history, and we all know about there was flying saucers in pictures that come from the Bible time. So don't think just when these aliens, if they're aliens indeed, it could be coming from underground and spaceships going up and then coming back here, or whatever. But what I'm saying is whatever thousands of small tribes, maybe in some remote village in a third world country, witness, they don't just come to New York, Moscow, and London. They also go to those places. They may have portals there. Ukraine, Iraq, and so on and so forth is supposed to be where the Anunnaki, I've said this on the show a lot of times, have portals, and they don't necessarily fly on spaceships. They go through stargates and portals and so on and so forth, and coming back and mining gold and supposed to get back to where it's coming from. If not, it could just be psyops, because for the most part, those people don't leave those villages. There might be 800 of them, and they don't want to know nothing about internet or politics in the capital or none of that. They just people that live out there and they do what they do. So it could be one or the other. We know, though, that there are other entities on the earth as we speak, whatever you call them. So that's what my little take on that. You can go ahead, Keisha.
Well, now they saying it's false flag stuff. So anyway,
Yeah.
but you already told us to look out for the shenanigans.
Right.
You already told us to look out for the shenanigans. Again,
Right.
all of these distractions to keep you from focusing on what it is that you need to do. As our esteemed elders previously said to us. But let's take some. Sister Farnessa said, Umar goes international now to flee. Brother Kaz says my degeneracy and immorality has been so popularized, the collective is numb to it and it's disguised as culture. That's fact. That's fact. Because now, don't you got this thing with what's her name? Doja Cat. Have y'all seen that?
Nah, I'm out.
Devil Cat.
Go ahead, brother.
No, I just said Devil Cat.
What she do now?
Oh man, whole devil's suit, bro. The whole thing.
Tech suit, and it's not right. Not right.
Let's take a look, get Brother Tad up to date. This thing is deeply disturbing, but again, she is not the first. This is what, our people are being persuaded towards. Here we go.
Doja Cat that we used to know had a gift in every way. But this is what she transitioned to today. I can't believe my eyes is ill. She out here on demon time for real. Ellen, she went red-eyed demon with claws crawling on the ceiling. Darkness sick. Let's take it back to the beginning. When she first started this, got signed as a youngin' then. Was hurt when the manager took all the publishing. Felt wild confused. She post, I died before I got on my contract with Dr. Lou. Then right before a B-Day on live, wow. She shaved her head and her eyebrows. Pulled the Britney Spears. It's clear, something is missing here. Humiliation ritual in the worst way, cause shortly after her 27th birthday, sick and ungodly, less B-Day vibes, gave more of a ritual party. From there, she started giving bad vibes, painted on busted lips and black eyes. Everything the opposite of godly. Devilish tattoos all on her body. Mouth full of blood. Seriously, I seen this and just read her whole energy. Gets deeper. Dressed in all red, dancing on the Grim Reaper. Now a single here, huh? Let's paint the town red. That just paint the picture clearer. The agenda in full thrush. Miss Say So is saying so much. It's like the industry, gift them if they do this. Remember, the devil was the minister of music. No secrets, been out there for sure. Only difference is, they don't hide it no more. Lil nah, skip that. Tongue out? Yeah, the devil coming for his lick back. And these artists is moving with these agendas quick. The industry becoming insidious. How can the women this beautiful, purely a goddess, transform into something so dark and demonic? Nah, this ridiculous. Dr. Umar voice. You don't find that suspicious? It hurts, but seeking. When somebody show you who they are, believe them.
So, this is what's pushed on the culture. This is what's being pushed. So, we definitely got to push back. We definitely got to push back. Look at Brother Ty. He like, oh, Lord.
He ain't recovered yet.
No, crazy? Yeah. Because years ago when my children were younger and YouTube first came out, we used to have this joke in the house, but we were serious. And we'd always say the people are under the spell. And it was serious. But because, years ago, talking like we're talking now sounded crazy. When we talk about these people worshiping the devil, they're on their way to hell. I did a show with Al Sharpton years ago called Sharp Talk, right? They never aired it. It was me, Al Sharpton, Kwame from The Apprentice, and Omarosa from The Apprentice, right? We were the panel, and they were trying to big up reality television. And where it's at now is where I saw it going back then. So I was anti-reality show. And I wasn't anti-reality show, so to speak. I just didn't agree with the way they was trying to big it up, saying this is a good thing. And Omarosa kind of agreed with me, and she said what they did with her on The Apprentice, they try to make her seem like the angry black woman, because what they would do while the camera was off was poke her, aggravate her, and then record her response. And of course, you know, they edit it and splice it to fit their narrative on the angry black woman. Never mind that Omarosa is a very intelligent woman, you know, highly educated. They don't want to view our women as such. They want you to be the harlots. They want you to be who they prescribe you to be. If we go into gynecology, the father of gynecology, Dr. Marion Sims, you read the book of Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington. She talked about Dr. Marion J. Sims. When he was ripping black women apart, he was telling his colleagues, don't listen to their cries. They're just faking. Don't believe it. They got a high tolerance for pain. He killed all the children that he worked on. And in that culture, even when they were raping black women, said, don't listen to her cry. She really enjoys it. So this is why a lot of white men weren't convicted of raping black women, because the narrative that was created. So look where we are now with reality television. And this was my whole premise. What are the women posing themselves as? Are they posing themselves as educated, women of virtue, women of high integrity and morality? Or are they just leading with their ass? Because I also tell the children, you're either going to be the head or the tail. And you see just about every woman take a picture. Not every woman, but those women, I would say, women of that caliber are always leading with their tails. They're always leading with their tails. So if you got it on display and you advertising it, that's where I'm going to go if I want to buy some tail. And they don't want to be treated like a harlot, but they just want to act as one, dress like one, and behave like one. But again, as Dr. Francis Cress Wilson said earlier, they're selling this as our culture, and this is not. And that's just the mild end of it. The sexuality is the mild end of it, because what we see with Lil Nas X and Doja Cat on the extreme end is the celebration of Satan. Now, whether you believe in God and Satan is a little consequence, what we're talking about is negative energy. You're representing things that are immoral, things that are outside of the social and cultural norm of what is decent and appropriate, and makes you a better person, a better human being, because we're all spirits. We're all spirits. That's why we have intuition. We have a particular knowledge of what's right and wrong. This is why we have feelings and emotions when we do things wrong or when we do things right. This is a real thing. And unfortunately, people try to hide it in religious dogma, and I get it. But good and evil, good and bad is a real thing. And unfortunately, people, as we said at the top of the show, Sister Keisha, attention is the new currency. And people are selling a soul for attention. More than the money, they want the attention. Because there's no lack in money. Money is abundant in this world. No matter how you look at it, whether it's the dollar, the yen, the CD, the naira, whatever you call that thing that we call currency, it's in abundance. So stop looking at it as lacking, you know, because you're willing to do anything for it. Yeah. If you don't recognize there's more than enough to go around for everyone. Right. Bill Gates is not worried about Jeff Bezos' money. Jeff Bezos is not worried about Jay-Z's money. There's enough money for everybody. You just got to find your lane, get in your groove, and get yours. You don't have to sell your tail or your soul. I'm sorry, Brother Blacksmith. You was gonna add on?
No, brother. Well, you finished. I don't want to cut you away. Okay. All I wanted to say is, maybe right before the break, maybe a week or two before that, I don't remember the exact show, I told y'all to prepare for what you've been asking for, brother, as far as aliens, UFOs, and ufology, whatever you want to call that. And for Black people specifically, celebrity gossip. And couple that with, you know, the Asian chick getting Jeezy divorcing her, blah, 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 and all that. It's just gossip. You know, 6 months ago, it was Jamie Foxx and his disappearance. You know, before that, it was this guy or that guy or whatever. And they just toss you in the tailspin for a week. Hold on, let me just finish real quick. So that we targeting the people that believe in that and are aspiring to that, you know, to the point of worship, as opposed to just, this is gossip. You know, at the end of the day, nothing can be proved. I put a video maybe 2 weeks ago of a video saying Kanye said he was killed and he was cloned and now they knew him. And I've always said this since the beginning. That tall, broad-shouldered dude with the shoulder pads or whatever the hell's in there is a bot. That's a double of some sort or whatever. You never see him on live video pictures. Every picture you see of him is always still pictures.
That's a fact, brother. And I think to pointing out, brother, is what sister said. We can't maintain accountability in the community. We need to be able to vet from the distraction and stay focused, because we are, desperate times, desperate measures. Like, stop letting Jeezy and what's her name, we all knew on this panel she was racist. If you didn't know and that was your wake-up call, that's your problem, audience. And I'm sure many of our audience saw through the lines with whatever her TV program was called, and we just have to, like, I just had a conversation with my mom, and she was like, do you believe other people are racist? And I said, yes. She said, why? And I said, because it's in their nature. They give everything to their community, come put their business in this community, and don't give back. And she's like, but why do you think like that? That's not a good way of thinking. I don't think anyone is racist until something happens to me. And I said, that's the problem. You can't wait for something to happen to you to believe that it exists. And if it didn't exist, you wouldn't have fled from your home country because something was existing there that made you leave your home country and land right here. And you kept a blind eye for 40 years. You can't say that it doesn't exist. And she's like, and I feel bad for people who really don't think that aliens exist and all the other distractions exist. But things exist, and we have to learn to separate all that crap and stay focused on what doing is. And it's historic nation, and let's work on it. It starts at home and it flowers out, but it has to start somewhere. Where we just keep making the same circles. And one of the things I just really, with this whole polite thing, it's about security. One of the major things is we don't have enough security in our communities amongst ourselves. And that has to change. And I believe it will, but it has to change.
Let me ask you, Sister Marcia, what does security look like to you, to Sister Marcia?
Well, one, if we see a predator at the Lurks, we're kicking them out. And I know, it might be 5 people talking, but 5 people need to talk louder, and 5 people need to get 10 people on board. And I know it's not an easy task. We've been doing this for upwards of 10 plus years. Sister Keisha alone has been doing this for over 30 years. Just alone. And it's going to take a lot of work, but we have to maintain our persistence and dedication in speaking louder. And now that we know the snake oil, because other folks are using it, we need to use the snake oil too, because it's out there. And for some reason, it just keeps leaving us and going to these other people who are equally as culpable in the community. And we're not checking them hard enough, and the solidarity. Look, people are going international now.
Yeah.
And everybody international is like, that brother's talking real good. Look at my thing. And I understand. But we have to leverage something out of all of this.
Right, because I agree with you now. I agree with you 100%. Because now here's the whole thing. When we do speak on it, we're vilified within our own community as being haters. When we didn't support Polite, when we didn't support SETI or Young Pharaoh, when we start telling people about Dr. Umar, I'm talking about people who knew me personally. They don't know Dr. Umar, but they know Brother Tad. They done been to my events. They done came to my boot camps. They done been to my trips. They done came to my events. They seen that I'm real deal 100% now. There ain't no fluff with it. They stopped supporting me and blocked me on social media because I disagree with Dr. Umar.
High enough. You got to get your clout high enough. You know,
no, but it's not. It's right. But and see, that's where the problem. It's Tom. That's where the problem comes in, because we're equating clout with value, and that's something we were talking about earlier. It becomes a popularity contest as opposed to doing real work. Because as much as we've done, Sister Keisha and myself, like you said, Sister Keisha alone, 30 years. Brother Blacksmith has been writing publications, books, and giving presentations and giving information that's outside of mainstream. You, with your grassroots efforts in all of these communities, why don't we get the clout that everybody say they want to see in the community? Like, let's really keep it above. People say ain't nobody out there giving out information. Brother Blacksmith is. We out here. Sister Keisha done worked with everybody from people in the projects of Fort Greene to Winnie Mandela to the sister we just talked about, where she posted the picture just a few minutes ago. What's her name? Dr. Ankara?
Arankana.
Dr. Arankana. You know what I'm saying? These are international figures that Sister Keisha worked with. I've worked with everybody from gang members to really squashing beef in the hood, saving lives, to working with the master teachers, to doing lectures and presentations around the country, to supporting schools in Africa, to inheriting the school in Africa. I mean, we're doing the work everybody say they want to see done, but because we don't have 1 million people following us, it gives us no validity. That don't make no sense. Meanwhile, here you got Dr. Umar promising you a school that your child wasn't even born. Now your child too old for the school. And he's still collecting money. And he gypped you this year because you ain't even get a block party this year.
And look, brother,
you didn't even get a cookout this year, but you still donating, right? And then you got Brother Polite, old Silver Tongue over there, who I've been said you got to watch him.
That's right.
He was a predator in the midst. I promise you, tell anybody. I'll never forget. Jeannie was sitting on my couch, and Polite called. I said, Jeannie, hang up the phone. He's like, what? I said, F Polite. I said, F him. And I should have known then. I knew he was a deviant, but I didn't know he was a child. I didn't know he was a child molester. He was right in our midst.
Yeah, we didn't know that part.
Hey, Tad, it is a fact that almost any living entity will go toward anything that's shiny and flashy. So if you consider us OGs in the game, if you will, not only that, a big part of this also is getting around to the point you were just talking about, and feel not just because some people, like you said, got silver tongues, but you could be around this person and hate their vibe, even though you love what they saying because it's true.
Now, I felt this energy off the rip.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. A lot of people don't live in New York, Atlanta, LA, Chicago, where these guys is going to go through at least every 6 months because they got business. They big figures and they got business in different cities. So what I'm saying is that's a big part of also the vetting process. Being around somebody and saying, you ain't never give me no weird vibe or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of it too. And in this day of the internet, we don't get that a lot because, we grew up in a time where you actually went to the venue.
Yeah.
If you have the fortunacy of living in one of those cities I just mentioned, not everybody has that luxury. So most of their connection with these people is on videos or now YouTube or the internet, if you want to say it like that. Sister Keisha, I'm gonna let you go in. Go ahead.
Here's a clip in relation to what Sister Marcia and Brother Tad were discussing. Again, well, I can pull them up quick. Y'all better stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Shoot.
My sister stay on point.
What? Stop playing with me. Dr. Amos Wilson. Break it down. Here we go.
Broken black family, the so-called crisis in the black family, is not a cause, it's an effect. You see, the presence of drugs and guns are also effects. The presence of unemployment is also an effect. Miseducation, also effect. And when you start looking at those as primary causes, you're going to almost invariably go wrong. Because all of these result from one major thing. That is the fact that black men are still permitting white men to run this world. And that black men have not decided yet fully to bring an end to the rulership of this world by white men.
And there you have it, family. And there you have it. The elder, I'm telling you, the elders will let you know every time they will come in swinging. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm telling you. This past weekend we had the African American Day Parade, which took place in Harlem. I think it was the 54th. Am I right? Could be wrong. Sorry if I am. But here's a little clip. And I found a throwback from the United African Movement, a part of the African Day Parade in 2013. But we'll play this year's clip and then we'll play that one and we'll close out and go to bed. Hold on. Here we go, family. Here we go, family. Give me a second.
Of American Black culture.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
The African American Day Parade made its way up Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. Mayor Adams was among the marchers. Organizers say the parade is meant to highlight African American culture, heritage, and unity.
It means everything. I wait every year for this. This is the end of summer officially.
We need this parade. We need everybody to support it and support Harlem.
The parade started 54 years ago in 1969, and it's held on the third Sunday every September. Today, a celebration.
So, shout out to the organizers of the African American Day Parade. It takes place every year. If you missed it, you missed it. Be ready for next year. Kudos for them on that. One of the things that I'm going to discuss next week, I knew I found in my archive. Just let me dig a minute. In my archives when the West Indian Day Parade was held in Harlem. You know, Keisha finds those archives. Y'all better stop playing with me. So next week, we will have that. I want to share that with you. The founder, hold on, let me mute Brother Black real quick. The founder of the African American Day Parade, when it moved to Brooklyn, because it was in Harlem. The West Indian Day Parade was originally in Harlem. Let me be clear. They don't never talk about that history. I don't know why, but they should. Anyway, here's a throwback from the United African Movement, 2013. I know some of y'all are watching. Let me play this clip and we'll close out. Here we go, family.
Hey, Sister Keisha, I gotta go. I don't want to be rude, so I say good night right now. I'll holler at you after the show.
Peace, Brother Black.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Here we are, UAM, front and center, 2013. Right there. Do you not see? Are we carrying red, black, and green, or all the nations? All nations together. We had Haitian flag, Trinidadian flag. We had Senegalese flag. We had Ugandan flag. We had Ghanaian flag. Do you understand? Do you understand? Now, when you go to other parades, y'all don't see them bigging up African American like that. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. That's why next week, we're going to deal with the history, because I don't play no games. I will dig in the crates and find some stuff on you. So we said good night to our brother Blacksmith, who had the cutout. Sister Marcia, your final thoughts and comments.
Study, study, study. And somehow we need to get military science to be solvent in our communities. That's what I believe we need to move forward as a people, a nation, a family. And I want everyone to manifest this whole idea of us unifying really well under the umbrella that Sister Keisha just showed us. We were walking down Fifth Avenue. What avenue was that in Harlem?
Adam Clayton Powell.
Adam Clayton Powell, with all the flags, because we're all in this together. We're suffering together. Once we understand that, we'll get better. May time flourish for us all. Peace.
My brother Tad, your final thoughts and comments before we get up out of here.
Well, my final thought is manifest Black love in your own life. It starts with self. Love yourself first. Then find your complement, somebody who's a perfect, well, not perfect, but somebody who's a good fit for you that you could get along with. All right. Be a steward of the community. You know, make sure we protect the elderly, make sure we protect the children and those we may deem not as strong as us and don't have the information that we have. You know, we got to keep the predators and the charlatans out of our community. So hopefully you were inspired by something you heard here tonight. It's your turn to go out and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, there's always better days ahead. Sister Keisha.
Thank you again, family, for joining us for another episode of Thorough Black Talk Worldview. Shout out to my brother Ashe SJ, who is doing his thing, family. Trust me when I tell you, hopefully we'll see him on Saturday, Tad. I got to text him and see if he's going to pull up on Saturday. We'll see Brother King Simon, Plant-Based Kitchen, Dr. Ashra, crazy in the building.
Yeah.
This Saturday, 9:58 Halsey, 2 to 8 p.m. Be there or be square. If you're nice to me, because you know me, Brother Tad, Brother Ashe, we on the guest list. We might let one of y'all roll with us. You know what I'm saying? If you're nice to me, don't get on my nerves. But as my brother Ashe SJ always says, the battlefield is where you stand. True courage is knowing how to suffer. Good night, y'all. We are out.